Hey everyone, welcome back. I hope you're all doing really well, and I hope you had a year of great reads. Today, I'm gonna do a little, not much great reads as the ones that didn't quite cut it for me. These are my worst reads of 2022 with some honorable mentions at the end. These are the ones that, they just ticked me off. They're either characters or plot or something. Those are the ones that I'm going to tell you about. And thankfully, it's a short list. So we're going to start off with The Killing Dance by Laurel K. Hamilton. And this one was disappointing as I remember really liking her when I was younger. And it's got a good, plot and theory. It's, basically a monster hunter where she lives in a world, zombies, werewolves, vampires, all that stuff is real. And her job is to reanimate zombies. Cool, right? No. In this book, she is just obnoxiously stupid. She wants to prove how badass, feminine she is, that she don't need a man. To the point that she's about to get her butt killed because she can't get to her weapons because she can't let a man hold her bags. Yeah, that's a defensively smart move that proves you're a tactical badass. You know you have assassins after you, and you can't move with any speed or dodge or reach any weapons because you have hampered yourself just because you can't let your boyfriend hold a single bag for you. And she does this throughout the book, and it just ticks me off to no freaking end. She's stupid. She's supposed to be badass, assassin, nobody can touch her, and she's an easy freaking target because of her own stubborn stupidity. Idiot. So that one pretty much, the main character ruined the book for me on this one. And it was kind of a similar case with A Brewing Storm by Richard Castle, which if you've ever seen the TV show Castle, you will know about this because Richard Castle is actually played by Nathan Fillion in the show Castle. And Richard Castle we don't know who the real authors of these books are. That's the title character of the TV show. And the author picture is of the actor who plays him. And this is a short of Derek Castle, one of his characters. And he's supposed to basically be like America's version of 007. But again, he's just such a hateable prick. I was so excited about this book being on sale. Well, this little short, ebook novella. But the whole thing is basically Derek Storm being, he's a horn dog that, it's like, well, if I insult this girl, she can't help but go to bed with me. It's like, I'm gonna tell her she's stupid, she sucks at her job, and just, she's absolutely the worst, most pathetic thing ever, and she can't do anything without me. That's gotta make her wanna bang me. And that's the entire book there's supposed to be a plot, but it's mostly just our, big, badass, retired spy trying to get laid and insulting the chick and then getting mad that, well, I might only sleep with her after she begs me for actually getting revenge on me a little bit. Yeah. It's like, he straight up tells her, oh, she's really pissed. She wants to kick my butt. If I make her a little bit more bad and get her to punch me, then she'll have to go to bed with me because she'll be so excited. Yeah. So, it's not really the charming, witty gets the girl spy that we expect. No, this is just, he needs to be kicked a few times and make sure he can't reproduce with those obnoxious genes. And then there was The Third Gate by Lincoln Child. And this one was really disappointing because normally I love everything Lincoln Child does, but this was built up to be something that it utterly failed to be. It was just okay, there's supposed to be some kind of supernatural bent, and we're built up, and then it's kind of there, but mostly it's just a pedestrian, there's this lying, sleazy, oh, I'm in it for the money, greedy guy working, and, pulling crap to play on the superstitions. It's not, we go through all these hundreds of pages going, it's gonna get there, and then it ends, and it's nothing to write home about. Definitely nothing worth hundreds of pages. Which, like I said, everything else by him, I have loved it. He has not written a bad solo book. And most of his co-authored books with Douglas Preston. His Pendergast series is also amazing for the first, like, 17, 18 of them, and then they get just your average everyday murder mystery. So again, I love him. I was excited about this, and it was standard. So maybe if you don't go into this with a lot of hopes, it won't be on your worst lists. And then I had A Drop of Red by Chris Marie Green. And this sounded cool. It's, you know, like a team of vampire hunters with a, like, ghostly vampire type leader. And they're hunting this group that's killing off people. And they have suspects. They even track them down and get into battles with them and then go, we're just gonna let them go. We're gonna find out who the bad guys are, where they are, how to get them, and then just end the book. It's like, you went through all of this. You spent the whole book. We have to stop these girls from killing anybody else. They're vampires and we need to knock them off and find out who's turning them and running them. And we get some twists and turns that are really cool. But then they go absolutely nowhere. So the whole book was about taking out this clan of vampires that are killing people. And then it just stops. So, yeah. What the heck? How do you have a murder mystery? You find the murderer and then, by the end, read another book. So, yeah. That one ticked me the heck off. There is The Atlantis Stone, which, yeah, I DNF'd this book. I don't do that very often, but I DNF'd this one. It started off with a guy falling through the roof of a building to their death. And then, like, a third of the way in, we don't know who the dead guy is. We don't know what connection they have to this shop that they fell to their death in. Who killed them? Nothing. And honestly, I started just scanning pages real fast and skipped to the third of the book and just went, bump this. Because we had about 3-4 different subplots going on that never went anywhere. Like, hey, why is this dude in Australia? Like, he's aboriginally. And that's really important to some, like, British lady. We don't know why. There's this chick that moved there after divorcing her prick of a husband. And so the guy who's living in the shop where the body dropped on the first page just is immediately in love with her, and so is she. And, oh, we're going to have a romance. No, we don't really get that either, which I'm good with that because romances bore the crap out of me. And it's called The Atlantis Stone. So it has something to do with Atlantis and artifacts, right? Wrong. She decides to take herself on a trip and digs up this stone and almost dies because she gets tangled up in seaweed. And the guy saves her, and they fall in love. And just by looking at the stone that looks like every other rock under the ocean, she knows it's the Atlantis Stone. So does he. But we don't know what the heck the Atlantis Stone is, why it's important, why it looks like every other rock in the world that's big, but clearly doesn't because she recognized it immediately. Yeah, we know frickin' nothing a third of the way in. Yeah, that's just too many plots with going nowhere. So, yeah, I DNF'd that one. And the last book that was just an absolute letdown was License to Bite by Carrie Pulkinen. And this one, yeah, it sounded freaking hilarious. The premise is this, chick goes off to New Orleans to spite her Texan governor father and, write a travel blog so she can make a little bit of money on her own. And by the end of it, she's like, well, I got turned into a vampire because I had a crush on this dude that turned out to be a vampire who thought I was his reincarnated ex-fiancé. And I'm so stupid I got myself killed, so he turned me, not knowing that I will, faint at the sight of a drop of blood. And, oh yeah, there's a law that says, I have to be licensed to bite, which means I know how to not get caught and leave marks. But I can't because I can't bite anybody because I know there's blood and oh my god. And yeah, they're supposed to stake me and my maker, but do you know who my daddy is? You can't do that. Yeah. And he absolutely hates her guts from the second that he gets to actually meet her and realizes she is definitely not his reincarnated ex-fiancé. But yet, despite hating her and actually wanting her to get staked to be rid of her, by the end of the book, she has, if nothing else, she's actually gotten worse than when he started off, like, hating her after she first woke up after getting turned. But they're desperately in love, and she's the best thing in the whole world. Oh. Like, so she's become more of a stuck-up little princess that can't function on her own. Which is why you hated her, but now you're in love with her because she's a hypocrite. And that's the only difference between how much you hated her before and her attitude, but telling you not to be like her. Yep, totally makes sense. So, those were my worst reads of the year. And, well, there are some others that I didn't like, but they were mostly, I thought they were going to be something else. They were too slow, too mushy, too heavy on the smut, but not enough on the plot. Basically just, they weren't my style. They didn't evoke any real, oh, I'm so ticked off they messed up all of this and they promised this and didn't deliver. Just, you know, things that were truly bad. They're just not me. So I'm not gonna make a video bashing them and saying, don't read this, when it's just, personal preference. So I hope that it gives you, you know, something to think about so you don't get into any bad reads like I did. Thankfully, there weren't that many, considering I've so far read 119 books this year, and I'm working on 20 and 21 that I don't think I'll get through before, you know, the end of the year. So a handful out of all that, I've been real lucky, and mostly it was the beginning of the year, so I finished on a good note. I hope you did as well, and I will see you soon with best books of the year, and I hope you have a great new year and happy reading. Bye!